To just get to know each other and take a walk in the park. We pull into a completely empty, supersized mall and park next to each other. I was kind of taken back because I wasn't sure why we were there, and then I thought maybe he changed his mind and we're gonna walk around the parking lot? Maybe he changed his mind and we're gonna walk around the park. Alright, and we're back. A guy approached me in line at the gas station and we exchanged numbers. At the gas station? In line? Okay, here we go. We chat and text for about a week or so before he asked if we could meet up. I didn't want to assume he was automatically taking me on a date, and he didn't really give me specifics, so I just asked what the plan was. We agreed to just get to know each other and take a walk in the park. We pull into a completely empty, supersized mall and park next to each other. I was kind of taken back because I wasn't sure why we were there, and then I thought maybe he changed his mind and we're gonna walk around the parking lot.
That's ridiculous. How can you think you're gonna go on a date at a parking lot? Like, what's even the point of that? Literally, what's running through the girl's mind? She pulls up at a parking lot, she thinking that date's set at the parking lot. Dude, drive home.
Walk around the parking lot? Maybe he changed his mind and we're gonna walk around the park. Alright, let's keep reading. I was kind of nervous getting out the car, but I played it cool. He explained that he visits this parking lot a lot. He explained that he visits this parking lot a lot because it's pretty much empty and he can just chill without everybody around him. In the parking lot.
That's crazy. Out of all the places you could think of, you came up with a parking lot. You need to tell me wherever you're living, there is no peace and quiet aside from that parking lot. Like, you couldn't go to like some woods, maybe, you know, get in touch with nature and all. You couldn't find anywhere else aside of that parking lot.
Alright, I'm going along as if I totally understand and trying not to seem like every sign is going off inside my head. We talk for a bit and he's drinking a beer and security pulls up and tells us we have to leave. It's still pretty early and he's not ready for me to leave yet, but not making any suggestions. I asked if he wants to go somewhere and get a drink since he doesn't want me to leave yet, and he agrees. But you don't want to leave. Alright. I asked if he knows the place, he says yes, and I follow him. We pull up to a bar and grill, not the one he originally said we're going to, and we park. He explains that this place is better, and he comes here all the time, and he came here the week prior for his birthday. I wish him a happy belated birthday, and we head to the bar. I end up seeing an old coworker at the bar, and he sees someone that he knows, so we greet them. There's one seat between the person that he knows, and 2 seats next to the coworker. I naturally sit next to the coworker and thought he'd sit in the seat beside me. But instead, he encouraged me to sit next to my coworker, and he sits next to the guy he knows.
First of all, I gotta pause this. This is such a weird dynamic. Like, you go to the bar, he has a whole seating arrangement made up for both of you. Like, that is strange, ain't it? Like, you know, you want to sit, like, you want him to sit beside you. He's like, no, sit by your coworker, and I'm gonna sit by my friend. Like, what?
My former coworker and I are chatting it up, and we're ordering drinks, and I notice my date isn't drinking anything. I asked if he wanted anything, and I offered to pay as a birthday gift. Why did I do that? He said he'd just have a beer, so I told the waitress to put the order on my tab. He eventually migrated to my side of the bar after my coworker left. By this time, he was obviously drunk. He's whispering in my ear, asking if he could trust me not to talk to other men if he went to the bathroom, and I assured him I would never. At this point, he's had maybe 3 beers, all of which I agreed to pay for, and told him after the 3rd one I was closing my tab when he asked for one more. I asked the waitress for my check and informed her that if he asked for anything else, that he was paying for it. I paid for my tab and I watched him dancing by a DJ booth. He indeed ordered another drink and the waitress let me know, and I told her that I wasn't paying for it. She relayed the message to him, he looked at her funny and reached in his pocket. He then proceeds to find me at the bar and asks what happened. What do you mean, what happened? What happened? You're broke.
Bro's broke. He's using her for drinks. Ridiculous, bro. How did this woman even choose this type of man?
Let's keep reading. I explained to him that I already informed him that I was closing my tab and I wasn't paying for anything after that. He then proceeds to explain to me that he was offended by the waitress because he felt like she was implying he didn't have any money by giving him the bill. You don't have money. You're broke. He's not implying it. You're broke.
Literally, like, why is it an issue? If you had the money, you would have paid your tab, but now you're making a big scene about it. So that shows on you're broke. Technically, you don't got money in your pocket. You're acting like you're offended and all, like you got some papers crumpled up in there. You ain't got boy.
So I'm totally over him and the entire evening at this point. So I said, I'm pretty much ready to go, and we head out. The next day, he's apologizing about how drunk he got, saying he usually doesn't get like that, and that's not him. He asked for a do-over, and I reluctantly agree? Did you just say I'm over him? I'm over him.
She agreed after this whole thing. Damn, she gave him the benefit of the doubt, right? You guys know that when people get drunk, their true colors come out, right? Like, you can't really mask it. So technically, there was a truth into what he was saying. Like, there was a truth into his action. Even, like, a lot of people like to blame it on the alcohol, but the alcohol is just telling you what was already there.
All he had to do was call you, say, yo, I was drunk. Can we do this again? Let's keep reading. We planned an official date. date at a restaurant in which he shows up late, doesn't eat anything, orders a beer, and I pay for my meal and his beer. All right. What have you learned? After that, he ghosts me. All right. You just let the man that you met at a gas station walk you around the parking lot, get drunk on your tab, take you back out for another beer, the last beer that he said he wanted that you didn't want to pay for. You paid for it the next date just so he can ghost you.
This man used her again for that beer. No wonder he ain't ordering any meals. This man is broke, bro.
Would you let your girl have a sugar daddy she wasn't busting it open for?
She didn't have to do nothing. She just had to talk to him.
Yeah.
Goes out for dinner.
100%.
And
Goes out for dinner.
We're clear on that.
We have to go out to dinner.
Me too. As long as she's.
I'd be like, no, don't wear that dress. Wear that one.
That's crazy, bro. Like at that point, why even dress her? Why even dating her? If you're gonna allow her to have a sugar daddy, why you in a relationship with her? That's crazy, boy. Yeah, just cause he's a sugar daddy and all, he's like, you know, supplying her lifestyle and all, and she ain't busting open for him. Like, it still don't make a sense. Like, it's kind of like that thing where she got like another dude who's supporting her in her life, and what are you? You're getting supported by the sugar daddy as well. Like the sugar daddy is paying for her and she paying for your ass. You know, she might as well leave you for that sugar daddy because you ain't useful in her life, bro. You ain't even taking care of her, bro. You know, so, man, that's nonsense.
Every woman is easy for the right guy. At this point, I've talked to women all around the world, different cultures, even different languages, and they are all easy for the right guy. They all are the same. I promise you, they're all the same. Whether they want to get married, whether they want to have kids, whether they want to live the single life, they all want a man who's going to dick them down. That's just the facts. So if she's playing hard to get with you, understand that you just have to just dead it. You just have to dead it because she doesn't like you that much. There's something that you're doing that's irritating her and she doesn't really like you. When you understand this truly, it makes you be way less emotional when you're dating and you start to pay attention to the signs, whether she's really, really into you and has high attraction, which is what you want, or whether she's a woman who has low attraction. And
yeah, I mean, he has a point, definitely. Like, if you're her type, man, you best bet you weren't putting as much work as if you weren't her type, you know? There's men out there who are like mad ugly, bro. She's not feeling them like that. But yet, they have to always be doing shit to prove themselves to her, to make her see them. Like, you know, there's women out here, they treat these men like rubbish, and you got the man still paying for her bills. He's cash apping her money. He's doing this, doing, like, you know, he's doing too much. Up until like maybe a year later, the girl's like, okay, you know, he's being reliable, so I'm gonna give him the time of day. But meanwhile, there's a homeless dude, who's living in his mama's basement, who's sleeping on a couch. All he has to do is just like message her to come over, and she pulling up immediately, just because he her type. You see the difference there? I'm telling you, it's a thing. When you're her type, boy oh boy, you could be the mailman, you could be a homeless, you could be whatever. It's so good, she gonna let that slide. But when you're not her type, she gonna make you go to the moon, walk through them planets and stuff, come back to Earth with gifts for her, just for her to be able to look your way.
Who else remembers when the game was on a dating show before he was famous?
All he do is smother me, or he cries like a baby. That's all he cries like.
Now this took place back in the year 2000 when the game was only 21 years old. You see, at that point in time, the game was in a relationship with a girl named Sadida, and he thought it would be a great idea to call up this game show called Change of Heart to see if they could get an opportunity to be on the show to test the strength of their relationship. What ended up happening was the game's girlfriend spent the entire time they were on the show absolutely humiliating him.
He has perfect teeth. He has this nice nose that I don't always have to stare at his nose all the time. That's all I look at when I see him, his nose.
Hey, better a big nose
Big snout.
than a milk dud head.
I hear you. Sadida would call out the game for being too emotional. She went after his appearance. She even clowned him for not having a car, and it only got worse from there. Even though things went really badly for the game on this show, we know the game ended up getting the last laugh in the long run.
Well, he's sensitive? What girlfriend doesn't want to be
No,
smoked?
wait a minute, but you're too sensitive.
Don't you think that shows that he cares a lot about you, or?
And he shouldn't always
nothing
do
to
that.
be
I mean,
out for it.
he
Too
always
much.
try to act extra macho, and he's not. He's really sensitive.
First woman that I've ever cared about, period.
So that means a lot to you.
Yeah.
He smothers me. He wants to be with me 24/7, and then I thought by going to school would like kind of make us separated, but he wanted to take the same classes with me.
I want to be with my girl all day. I can't get no loving in public.
No affection.
Because it seems like you always gotta prove to somebody.
anything.
You always gotta prove to somebody, like your friends, that you're with me.
Sadida, besides the schnoz issue here, any other differences that you were pleased with?
He has a car, and I mean, he drove me everywhere. Unlike him, he's a scrub. He doesn't have a car.
Damn, bro. If you're gonna bring your woman to a game show like this and she disrespecting you like that, airing you out like that, I don't even understand how you possibly could still see her in your life. Boy, oh boy, just get off your seat and walk away. She's flaming you over here. That's insane.
We go anywhere, I drive, and he just sit there, go to
I've got a
sleep, whatever.
suspended license
And no wheels.
and no wheels.
I got you.
Because I got into a car accident.
JT, he just don't know what to do. He was taking classes with me, and you know, it just, he has nothing going
Doing
for
too much
himself.
for you. My heart is with Sadida, so that's
You say stay together. Serena, sorry things didn't work out for you.
I hope this experience would teach JT a lesson, so I've had to change of heart.
I bet you that woman regretting right now, man, because the game went on to become the biggest name out there. She was blaming him like for not having drive in his life and all, but look at him, he got somewhere. And after she left his ass, she's probably like making them calls like, baby, you remember me? I made a mistake. Go eat the curb.
The only thing is, body count does matter for guys as well. I just think you have to look at the roles. For a guy, in order for a guy to get laid, he has to sell himself. And this is why sometimes guys think that having a high body count not only doesn't matter, but is kind of a flex, because they're thinking, oh, if I've convinced this many people to buy what I'm selling, that is an achievement. In reality, it's only an achievement if the people that you're selling to are impressive, if they're paying a high price for it. So like a guy who's had 50 one-night stands should be less impressive than a guy who's had 3 really beautiful and high-quality girlfriends. Now, on the other end, girls are buyers. They're not sellers. So a girl's body count really matters insofar as who is she buying from. It's not impressive for a girl to just open the door and let everyone in, but it is kind of impressive if she turns down 99.9% of the salesmen, and then she only buys from the best salesman. She only buys the best products. In that regard, it's not necessarily a problem if a girl has a few bodies if they're really high quality. But in general, I think the whole body count thing, we could go into the science, and there's science there that points to the fact that it kind of fucks with people's biology, it fucks with your psychology, but I don't even think you have to go that far. I just think on an intuitive and a guttural level, you know, as a girl or a guy, you know that if you get that intimate with that many people and you don't filter them out and you don't have any sort of boundary, it doesn't feel good. It feels like it takes something away from you. And I don't want people to shame themselves to sleep. I don't want you to feel bad if you've made mistakes in the past. Everyone is going to have a few stupid bodies on their list. That's fine, okay? But just moving forward, understand it does matter.
Yeah, I mean, he has a point over here. I think it's, for men, it's been seen as like a flex, as a status symbol. For women, it's looked down upon, right? It's all about that double standard issue going on. But I like what he said about, you know, for a woman having like low quality bodies versus, you know, a dude having a high bodies, but he has, you know, those questionable names on them, those questionable bodies on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think guys really care as long as they got the number down, right? But you guys got to realize this. At some point, this whole body collecting bodies, isn't that is no different than a crackhead, right? It's no different than a crack addict over here. You are like addicted to just a different type of drug. That's why a lot of men, they would rather go in and, you know, sleep with as many women as they can. But it's like, you're no different than a crackhead, right? You're just addicted to sleeping around, but truly deep inside you ain't happy. And then you will find eventually out of all these women, whatever, you'll find that one woman that cares about you, that puts the time and effort into you and all that, and she's proper for you, like the one who you should lock down. But just because you're so used to your ways, you ain't gonna change. You're gonna ruin a good thing, right? And then there's gonna be years of your life where you're gonna start regretting, right? When you look down further ahead and you're like, what was this all for? Right? You're gonna see how empty a lot of those bodies were, right? So of course, and for women it's the same thing, right? Like, I know they have a phase where they just go around and pop, bunch of dudes, and then there reaches a point where they just settle with one dude and have kids and continue on with their life. But I'm sure there reaches a point where they regret too, you know? But of course, everybody just has a period in their life where they're just dumb. They do stupid stuff, right? Like especially at college. That college era, that's the worst one. Because, you know, you're still immature, especially, but for guys, it's always gonna be like their whole life. I feel like they're always just trying to get notches. That's why it's important to just find good quality relationships off the bat, you know, rather than trying to sleep with as many women as you can. Because I feel like for men, it's like an ego thing, you know. It makes you feel like you're a man, right? And then for women, it does the opposite. But I don't know, comment down below, let me know what you all thought about this. That's the video. Click like, subscribe, comment, and catch you on the next one. Peace.